change per time, but the underlying factor is that they are inversely correlated. So one could use the US 30 or even the USD index to express a view on US 30, or use the US 30 to express a view on the dollar. Okay, so what causes price to move here? What causes price to move? There are, of course, so many factors. I'm sure we would have come across periods of quarterly earnings reports by different companies. During this period, usually we can expect to see more volatility, especially when we have earnings report for some of the companies that make up the US 30 index. During this period of earning reports, we'll get to see increased volatility. And then when we have economic data as well for the dollar, we'll have economic data as well for the dollar. That is economic indicators such as GDP, inflation, consumer sentiment, and things like that. Even interest rates. When we have interest rate data, we can also expect to see some volatility in the dollar index. Okay. All right. So having said that, let's now look at what the chart looks like. Let's see what the chart looks like. Okay. So you would agree with me, this index, US 30, has been in a long-term bullish trend. No doubt about that. One glance at this chart, and then you would also have that view, especially if you're familiar with the structure of an uptrend. When we have an uptrend, of course, we expect to see higher highs and higher lows. We expect to see higher highs and higher lows. This is typical of an uptrend structure. You see, so it keeps creating new highs. It's like climbing a ladder, you see it. And then if you look at this simple illustration here, we can relate this to what we currently have on the chart. And then with one glance, we can decide that we can see that we have an uptrend right there. Okay, so because it's an uptrend, what it means is that we're looking for opportunities to buy. We'll be looking for opportunities to buy in an uptrend until the trend changes. That's when we'll now start having a different bias, that is changing from being uptrend to downtrend. So currently we have an uptrend, it's still quite intact. Okay, so for that reason, and then let's also see if we can connect a trend line here. Okay. All right. Let's see if we have a channel. Okay. All right. You see what I just did there? So we have this ascending channel. We have this ascending channel. Now, before all of this, I remember in one of the sessions, in one of the reviews that we had in the morning, we saw price. Let me see if I still have it on my chart. Okay, right here. Yeah, somewhere around this trading area. We saw price broke below this trend line, and then even looking at this uptrend here, now this is happening on the 4 hours time frame. This is happening on the 4 hours time frame. So we saw series of price testing this trend line as support. You see this point, another level here, right here, and then here, before we eventually got a break below the trend line. Now, this break below the trend line, of course, signifies further weakness. And what happened? We saw this follow through. Okay. Now, take that to what we currently have. Again, we have also identified this channel right here, this ascending channel. And then you would also notice that the same ascending channel has acted as support multiple times. One right here, another one right here as well. Okay. And then as resistance multiple times as well. So what it means is that price is still respecting this ascending channel. So recently it tested the upper channel as resistance, and now we're seeing price heading back to the lower trend line, heading back to the lower trend line as support. Okay, so let me take this out. I'm sure we have that already. Let me take this out. All right. And then here we also have the 50 period moving average. Price is also trading above the 50 period moving average. And this 50 period moving average usually serve as magnets for price. Serve as magnets for price. Take for example what happened here. Price broke above the trading above the 50 period moving average. We got a retracement back to the 50 period moving average. That's an instance where it acted as a magnet for price. We got a push higher. Price still came back to the 50 period moving average. We got a push higher here, almost returning to the 50 period moving average. And currently, we're seeing a similar scenario play out. All right. Now, how deep is this retracement going to get? How deep is it going to get? All right. So I'm going to do this. From this level now to this high, from this level to that high. Of course, this is the Fibonacci tool. Fibonacci tool is a fantastic tool that we use to measure retracements, Okay. So if you also look at the structure that we have here, a series of higher highs and higher lows, this here was the last high, this here, before this higher high. Okay, so now that we have price pushing back into this high, you see, so I'm extending the rectangle to have a clearer view. All right, so currently price is below this previous high. All right, so this could be a pointer that we might get a much deeper pullback. We might get a much deeper pullback. So for that, I'll be looking at this next level. I'll be looking at this level for a much deeper pullback. All right. Now, that could also present an opportunity to short. That could also present an opportunity to short. If we're expecting this pullback to happen up till that next support level, which coincidentally is also in line with the 50 period moving average. You see. All right, now all of this is to give us the overall direction of this index. Okay, now we can head over to a much lower time frame. For instance, this is 1 hour. Okay, you see it's on the 1 hour time frame. That retracement, this retracement that we have on daily, if you check it on 1 hour, it's already giving us a downtrend. You see, we have the low, we have lower high, we have lower low, we have lower high, we get lower low. This is quite shallow, and then it's even pushing lower. All right, it's pushing lower. So while that retracement is still ongoing, while that retracement is still intact, that means it may give us a temporary short opportunity, short opportunity until the uptrend resumes. That's what we have on the 1 hour time frame. Now, don't forget, we started on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, what we have is a confirmed uptrend. we can see series of higher lows and higher highs. And then the last high got to around 45167. And then from that high, we're now getting a retracement. Now, this retracement doesn't mean that the uptrend has changed. No, it's still very much intact. So this is a temporary change in direction for the uptrend to resume, for the uptrend to resume. All right. And then after we got that on the daily time frame, we now tune down to 1 hour to see more clarity, All right, so this is the resistance that we saw on daily. This is the resistance, and then we have this downtrend. We have this downtrend also below the 50 period moving average. Okay, so we have confirmation that this will continue to push lower. This will continue to push lower. Now let's also check what the RSI is saying, the relative strength index. I'm going to introduce that on the chart in a minute. To do that, what you simply need to do is to click on Insert. If you're doing this for the first time, you click on Indicators and then all the way to Oscillators and then Relative Strength Index. You can just follow this trail to locate Relative Strength Index. All right, so one click and then it's on my chart. So period by default is 14. Period by default is 14. All right. And then I have close. Okay, I can make this a little bit thicker. Okay. Now, how does this work? How does this work here? We have 4 lines here. There's 0, there's 30, there's 70, and then we have 100. We have 100. Now, the two most important points are the 70 level and 30. Now, what does this mean? The 70 level is here acting as a resistance for price, and then the 30 level as support. Now, the most ideal way to now introduce your RSI on the chart is now when currently price is approaching the or is on or trading around the 30 area. Now let me zoom this so that we can see clearly. You see, price is currently trading around the 30 level. Now, for 30, when this goes below the 30 area, it is considered to be oversold. It is considered to be oversold. When it goes above the 70 area, it is considered to be overbought. Now, when it's oversold, that may be a signal that we're going to get a reversal pretty soon. That may be a signal that we're going to get a change in direction pretty soon. Now, let's head back a little bit to see what happened. Now, check this out. During this period, you could see that price traded below 30 around this area. You can see my cursor, right? Around this area, price traded went below 30. Now, like I said, below 30 means that it is oversold. So it may be a pointer that a reversal is in play, that a reversal may be happening pretty soon. Okay, so when we got that confirmation here, price trading below the 30 line, all right, and then we get this bullish confirmation. This is a bullish engulfing pattern. All right, so this here confirmed that it is now time to go long. It is now time to buy. All right, and then we saw that push higher. So from this level, we saw that fantastic move back to the resistance. So if we get a similar setup here, currently price is approaching the 30 line, is approaching the 30 line, even trading below it. You see this line here. which is the relative strength index, is now currently below 30. All right. So what we now need to wait for here would be a bullish confirmation. This is confirming to us that it is currently oversold. It's currently oversold. So we now need to wait for a bullish confirmation, just like we got here. In this case, it gave us a bullish engulfing pattern. And then when that happened, we got higher prices. Okay, so we wait here for a similar scenario to play out, and then it will be a fantastic opportunity to go long. All right, so that's what we have for US 30. That's what we have for US 30. Okay, and I hope we got that. All right, thank you very much. I see some new messages. Okay, based on the explanation that I just did for US 30, relating it to the relative strength index, do we have any questions based on this? Checking through. Yes, please just type it in the comment section. Just type it in the comment section, please. Just type it for me, and then I'm going to look at it. So far, I've been talking about the US 30. I started by giving us a brief about the index as a whole, and then we went on to MT4 to check out the technical setup for US 30. And then we confirmed on the daily time frame, we confirmed on the daily time frame that we have an ascending channel, okay, which is also not surprising. So I connected this trend line here. And then from that same trend line, I got the channel right there. Okay. And then you could see how the lower trend line has acted as support multiple times. Resistance, support, and on like that. Okay. And currently, recently, retested the upper channel. Okay. And now we're getting a retracement. And then we tune down to the 1 hour time frame to get even more clarity, to have even more clarity. All right, so I'm still waiting for you to type it in the comments section so that we can quickly address it before we move on to we should be able to touch on US 100 and maybe D30 as well for today. That's Oyeshino Oyekomi. I hope I'm right. All right. So moving on to uh US 100 now. Moving on to US 100 now. Let's see what we have. Again from the daily time frame. Okay. All right. One look at this too, and then we can tell that we also have an uptrend. We also have an uptrend right here. We also have an uptrend. And then recently tested this high. Okay. So for these two, we're also expecting a retracement, even for US 100 as well. Of course, this has some of the most popular technologies stocks. Okay, so we're also expecting a retracement here since it tested this high around 21,715. All right, and again, because it is bullish, uh, we're also expecting to uh, look for buy opportunities after retracement. We're looking for opportunities to buy at support, or a break above resistance, in which case that resistance return to support. Okay, so all of this on the daily time frame, All right, so let's check H4. Let's check 4 hours. Okay, about 1 hour. Now back to daily first. Let's check where we expect the retracements to get to. Um, okay, this was the last high that was formed before this higher high. So we got this high, we got higher low, and then higher high. Okay, so as it is, it appears this may be the next support level. This may be the next support level towards this price area. All right. Until price breaks above this resistance, that's when we have confirmation that the bullish trend is about to continue. We have confirmation that the bullish trend is about to continue. All right. So let's head over to, with that in mind, we head over to the 1 hour time frame. And then on the 1 hour time frame, we have this level here. We have this level here as support. Okay, it's been a struggle to go below that level. It's been a struggle to go below that level. And currently, price is right at the 50 period moving average. It's right at the 50 period moving average. And again, we have this bearish engulfing candle right on the 50 period moving average. Remember I said the 50 period moving average, or moving average at that, usually act as magnet for price. Now it's back here. Look at what happened here. Price came back to the 50 period moving average, and then we got a push higher from that level. Now that it's below it, again, we got a push back to the 50 period moving average. We also have a bearish engulfing candle right there. So we expect price to push lower. We expect price to push lower from that level. However, if what we get eventually is a close above this resistance on 1 hour, if what we get is a close above, then that could signal that the bullish trend is about to resume from this support area. I'm going to highlight it in a minute. Right, from this support area, price may just continue to push higher from that level. Now, so if we get a break above the resistance here, we get a break above the resistance, we may see bullish continuation. We get a break above that, we may see bullish continuation from that level. And then if you look at the structure we also have here, it's also looking like our head and shoulder pattern. It's also looking like a head and shoulder pattern, in which case this will be the head. You see it. If you have been following this forum, of course, we have used this pattern quite a number of times to see fantastic trade opportunity. We got it on, if I can remember, Euro AUD, we got it on gold, we got it on USD JPY as well. Okay, so now we're seeing a similar pattern here. So here we have the head, and then if you look at this part of the chart, you can treat this as the left shoulder right here. And then here would be the right shoulder right here. Okay, so now what would complete and solidify this pattern would now be a break below the neckline. Okay, it will be a break below the neckline, which is this support level here. So if you get a break below that support level, then we have confirmation that it is going to push further to the downside. It's going to push further to the downside. Now, what is going to invalidate this? What is going to invalidate this would be a break above the resistance, would be a break above the resistance, in which case we'll now expect price to push higher from that level. All right. So we have US 30, we have US 100. Do we have any questions on these two assets before we look at one more? Before we look at one more. Okay, yes, I can. That's coming from Idris. I can. So let's do that together. So again, insert indicators, oscillator, relative strength index. We have period on 14, which is okay. And then we have that. All right. So this is what we have. This is what we currently have. Now, remember I said, as soon as it is approaching the 30 level, or those are the two areas we're interested in. For example, if you look back at what happened here, price above 70, right here, where my cursor is right now. Here, price above 70. Like I said, what it means is that because it is now above 70, crossing above the 70 line means that it is overbought at that time, overbought. And because it is overbought, we're now looking for opportunities to sell, And that would be a confirmation with a bearish pattern. And if you check here, it gave us a bearish engulfing candle. Give us a bearish engulfing candle close to resistance, which is the confirmation that we needed at that time. And then what happened? Price pushed lower. Okay, so currently price is approaching, it's pushing towards the 70 level, it's pushing towards the 70 level. Okay, so currently, it's still not constructive. It's still not constructive because currently it's in between. Before we make trade decisions here using the RSI, we need price to be above 70 or below 30. Below 70 means it's overbought, and then we're looking for opportunities to sell. That's above 70. Below 30 means that it's oversold, and then we'll be looking for opportunities to buy. We also need to confirm that with a bullish reversal pattern for oversold or a bearish reversal pattern for overbought. All right. I hope you got that. Idris Badamasi. I hope you got that. And that's for US 100. That's for US 100. You're most welcome, sir. All right. Very quickly, we should be able to take one more. We should be able to take one more. Do I have a suggestion? Okay, this is what you have here. We effects. Okay, I hope I got that. What you have here, your question here is a whole topic on divergence. It's a whole topic on divergence. So it's possible that we have situations where the price is giving us higher highs and higher lows, but the indicator or the RSI oscillator that we have right now is going in the opposite direction. That is, price is giving us higher low, higher high, but on the other hand, the indicator is showing us lower low, lower high. That is a divergent. Now, that is a whole topic on its own. And then one of these days, I'm sure we would have a session on that. When we have that, it is the indicator, it is the RSI that we would follow. It is the RSI that we would follow. Something is wrong. It's a quick signal showing us that something is really wrong because they should be in sync. Price is printing higher highs. The RSI too should be showing us higher high. But in the event that there is a mismatch in the direction, then we'll go with the RSI. That is, in that case, that the RSI is printing lower highs, lower low. We're looking for opportunities to sell. That's the summary, but I'm sure we'll have a session on that pretty soon. I want to get to the last one before we call it a day. Okay. If we can suggest that last one, for me, I'm thinking we'll look at DAX DE40. I'm thinking we'll look at DAX. All right, so DAX it is. Okay, I still have this from the morning session. Okay. All right. So for DAX, we have again we have highs and higher highs. We have higher highs, higher highs. Okay, we got this here. Okay, and then price pushed higher, even from that level, price pushed higher. All right. Now let's introduce RSI here as well to see what we have. Okay, now see this. This is a typical example of the RSI trading above the 70 level. You see, trading above the 70 level. So this is a case of it being overbought. You see, so what we now need to see is a bearish confirmation. Is a bearish confirmation. Now, this is daily. This is happening on the daily time frame. It's happening on the daily time frame. So let's see it on 1 hour. Okay, on 1 hour, this is what it looks like. On 1 hour, it's approaching 70 on 1 hour. But on the daily time frame, it's already above 70. It's already above 70. Of course, the daily time frame is superior to the 1 hour time frame. So eventually, we expect this to go in line with the daily time frame. All right. So currently, this is approaching the 70 level. This is approaching the 70 level. Let's see what we have. Okay, currently above the 50 period moving average. All right, and then heading towards this resistance. Right, heading towards this resistance. Okay, so as it says, of course, this is currently bullish, and then we also confirmed on the daily time frame that it's a bullish move. Of course, it's a bullish structure. All right, and then we have this resistance right here pushing higher. Now, again, is also above the 50 period moving average. Recently tested the support, now approaching this resistance. Now, two things. As soon as price hits this resistance, uh, at that level, if we get a bearish reversal pattern, then that would be a signal to short. That would be our trigger to short. Now, just like we got here, when price got to that resistance, this is 1 hour time frame now, it gave us a bearish engulfing pattern, and then we got that push back to support. We got that push back to support. And currently, price is approaching that same resistance. Price is approaching that same resistance. So if eventually price hits the resistance, we wait for a bearish reversal pattern at that resistance. And then that would be our confirmation to short. That would be our confirmation to short. That would be our confirmation to short. All right. So we've been able to touch on US 30, US 100, and then DE 40 as well. And this session is designed to focus on indices. All right. So based on those three aspects now, do we have any questions that we can quickly look at before we call it a day? Shino is still raising hand. Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir.
Your audio is really low. I'm finding it hard to hear you.
You can't hear me. Can you hear me now, sir? Hello? Hello, sir. Hello?
Okay,
Hello?
it's louder now. Okay, it's louder now.
Okay. I was saying that
It's better.
I asked you a question. I said, is it exponential or simple, the moving average?
Okay, that's the moving average. Okay, it's exponential. I'm going to display the properties right away.
And another question is that
Exponential.
okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
another question is that I saw it on 1 hour that the DE40
Okay.
changed from a downtrend to an uptrend at that point
On
where
one
it,
hour, right?
yes, on 1 hour. So
Okay.
I was asking that when it changed from that downtrend to uptrend, can we enter the
Okay.
buy from that cross where it broke above the 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 downtrend slanting at that point?
Okay. Now,
Can we enter?
if I understand you correctly, um, now the best point to have entered the buy would be as soon as it broke above this trend line. As soon as it broke above this trend line. Now we already missed that. Already missed that. It's now really bullish above the trend line. And then after breaking above the trend line, we're seeing one, two, three bullish candles already. It's now close to this resistance. Now, if you buy right here, uh, there's something we call risk management. It's already very close to a resistance, and then we're not supposed to buy at resistance. We're not supposed to buy at resistance. So the ideal thing would be number one, to wait for some retracements from the current level, maybe back to the 50-period moving average, and then we buy at that point. Or we wait for price to break above the resistance, and then so that the resistance can turn to support, and then we buy. Or at that resistance, if we get a bearish reversal pattern, similar to what we got here, similar to what we got here. I'm going to highlight it, similar to what we have here. You see, when price touched that resistance, it gave us bearish engulfing candle, and then it pushed lower from that point. So if we get a similar pattern here, then we can expect price to fall from that resistance. Can expect price to fall from that resistance. However, in the event that we now get a close above the resistance, then what it means is that this resistance is now going to turn to support, and then we can buy.
But sir, is it not risky? Because if it close above that resistance, the
Okay.
RSI, it will be overbought. So is it not risky to buy above that resistance?
Okay. Now, buying above that resistance would also mean that you wait for more confirmation. You wait for more confirmations. Now, when as soon as price closes above the resistance, you would also need a retest, and then it's because price needs to retest it as support. You understand? Now, if price breaking above the resistance, it means that the RSI too will be in a way above 70. So I get your point there. It could be overbought, right? So it may the most ideal scenario may be to wait for some retracement, before we buy, because it's already very high. If you ask me, it's already very high. Do you understand that now?
Yes, I understand that.
All right, thank you very much. Do you still have more questions?
Not no no not no more questions. Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thank you very much. All right. Okay, let's take Andy. Andy, you have the floor.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. Well done, sir. Thank you for the training.
Thank you
I
very
just
much,
need
sir.
to understand trading indices and all these
Okay.
products. Do we need
Okay.
to align it with the news as the news is coming in, to wait and watch what the news will do, or we ignore fundamental while we are doing all this technical analysis? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, when we have technical, of course, different ways to analyze price. We use fundamentals and we use technical as well. Now, when fundamental happens, you begin to see the effect instantly. You begin to see the effect instantly. However, when it comes to technical setups, it can be more long term. It can be more of a long term approach. And then news doesn't happen every day. But when you use technical setups, it allows you to trade every day based on the technical setups. So when we have news like that, and then if you're already in a trade and then you have news, you will want to be sure that you have employed every measure of risk management in order to manage your risk for that particular news. Now, when you have, you're already in a trade and then you have news. Now, usually the way I approach it is if I'm already in a trade and maybe there's a news, two things, the news would rather go more in my favor, that is, make my technical setup to move even higher and return great profits. Or the news may be against the technical setup that I have. That doesn't mean that the technical setup is wrong, but for that instant, the news may be against it. And then if it's a loss that I'm willing to take, I take it and then wait for the next technical setup to look for another perfect entry, for the trade. To identify entry and exit points. What do you mean by to identify it? What do you mean by to identify it? So Tonye. Okay, last one from Tonye West. So Tonye West, you have the floor. So Tonye West, you have the floor.
Hello.
Please. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, yeah. Now, for instance, is you're talking about RSI 70 being overbought and all that.
Yeah, 30 being oversold.
30 being oversold. Yeah. 70 means overbought. Now,
that's correct.
In your H1,
Okay.
for example, is it 70? That reach 70 and above in H1. And
is
then
it
when
is
you
it
go
for
to
these charts that I have up?
No, I'm just want to ask a question, to clarify
Okay, please
something.
go ahead.
I just want to ask. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
70 in RSI, 70 and above is being overbought, say in H1.
Okay.
Now, by the time you go to D1,
okay,
the reverse might be the case.
Absolutely.
Yes, by the time you go to yeah. So which one will you follow? Is it the H1 70 overbought or the one you see at a D1? Which one will you follow? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, like I said. Okay, sorry. It's really echoing. I need to. All right. On daily time frame, you see that it's approaching 70, and then on 1 hour time frame, it's already above 70. Fantastic. Now, what that means is that the daily time frame is more long term. The higher time frames usually will control the lower ones. So if it's above 70 in 30 minutes or 1 hour time frame, you can trade that in the short term. But eventually, the daily time frame bias will take precedence over the lower time frame. So if you spot it on 30 minutes or you spot it on 1 hour, but you get to daily, the reverse is the case, you can trade the one on 30 minutes or 1 hour in the short term. but eventually price will sink to what we have on the daily time frame. I hope you understand that response. So if you have it on the lower time frame, we can follow that in the short term, but eventually price will sink, would agree to what we have on the daily time frame. All right. This would be a good place to leave it for this session. This would be a good place to leave it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to have the morning market review. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to have MMR, the morning market review from 8 to 9. And okay, I think that will be all for tomorrow. Okay, now so join us. Don't forget, set your alarm. Join us again for another session of our morning market review tomorrow, Wednesday from 8 a.m. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying through. It's been a great session. It's been wonderful talking to us. Thank you very much. And I hope we got the explanations, especially in combination with the RSI for fantastic trade opportunities. All right, this is where we draw the curtain for today. Thank you very much for joining. See you next time.